If you are brand new here today, by the way, I'm Margie Remmers-Davis, founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education. I don't know what's happening with my mic, but if this is your first time on a Locker Room Live, raise your hand and say hello. This is going to be, we're going to have a heart-to-heart, y'all. We're going to have a heart-to-heart. This is going to be a little bit different than our typical live stream lives. I mean, yes, we're going to work through an exercise, alrighty, let's see who we, Carrie Ann, first time in the locker room, welcome. All right, let's see. Who else? I don't know, some of you just said hi, and I wasn't sure whether that means it's your first time. Anita, hello. Deborah, first time here, excellent. Yeah, it's good for me to know. Oh gosh, my hair is kind of messy. It's kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy this morning. It's good for me to know how many newbies I have on the call, because sometimes I talk about things and I'm like, we've got Victoria, first time also, excellent, welcome. Anyway, it's good for me to know who is new, because sometimes I say things and I'm like, yeah, you guys know all about that. So, but if you're brand new, then you don't. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Margie Remmers-Davis. As I mentioned, I'm the founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education. And this is the live stream that we hold every week inside of our free Facebook group, the QBO Gym Locker Room. So if you're here with me live, excellent, awesome, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to walk through an exercise together. And if you are watching this recording later on YouTube, then come join us live. Come join us live, because that's where you get the good stuff. That's where you get the free exercises. That's where you get your free QBO QuickStart course. And that's where we get to hang out and practice QBO. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through an exercise. You get a free exercise. When you're in the locker room, you get free QBO QuickStart course. You get over 100 free exercises for you to actually use QuickBooks Online hands-on. We are all about hands-on exercises. Céline, did I pronounce that right? Céline, French. Anyway, so we are all about, in the locker room, we're all about hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. You cannot learn how to ride a bicycle by watching a YouTube video. In the same way, you cannot learn how to do bookkeeping or how to use accounting software if you don't actually do it, if you don't actually click the buttons. This is one of the reasons why people love our courses so much, is because of our focus on the doing of it, and not just watching a video, answering questions, watching somebody else do it, or in the case of the Intuit training, which is free and awesome, so glad that it's out there for everybody, but it's just like reading a textbook. So anyway, so that's why we started Acadian. So today is going to be a little different, because I have a little bit of a bee in my bonnet, a little bit of a burr in my saddle, a little bit of a something to say. If you guys read the newsletter, and if everyone here should have gotten the newsletter, by the way, you, by virtue of being in the locker room, one of the reasons we collect your email address is, Celine is as in Celine Dion. All right, awesome. One of the reasons we collect your email address is so that we can get you your free course, because that's one of the benefits of being in the locker room is you get a free QBO QuickStart course. We teach you all about QuickBooks Online Accountant version, how it's different than the version that business owners get. We teach you terminology, workflows, and of course there's hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. So you are set up for success. You actually know how to use QuickBooks Online, and that's free just by being a member of the locker room. And so we get your email address, we send you the course. If you don't have the course, if you cannot find the course, if you are like, oh, I know I joined the locker room, but I never got anything, please reach out to us at support@acadian.com, AKADIAN, right there. Reach out to us at support and we'll help you find it. It likely went to spam or junk mail. We are having issues with our email. We're in the process of switching email systems, delivery, like all of that stuff, because our current system we keep just ending up in spam. And we have zero intention of spamming anyone ever. So, but Google thinks that we are spam, so we land in spam, and then everyone says, I didn't get the email, or I don't know what's going on, or or I bought this course and it didn't show up, or I tried to download the free email, free ebook, and you guys are scammers because you just are collecting email addresses. No, we are here to help you. And so anyway, so if for some reason you did not get the course or you did not get the newsletter this morning, then make sure and reach out to us so we can look into your account. There's all sorts of reasons. Probably it went to spam or junk, but sometimes people type their own name wrong. That happens. You type Google, gmail.com, and you accidentally type gmail.co. We get that all, a lot. All sorts of things. Or maybe here's another thing, is that if you ever unsubscribed from us in the past, the system actually prevents us from ever emailing you again. So that's why we always say in the newsletter to make sure that you use our unsubscribe link rather than your email server's unsubscribe link, because the other one bans us for life. And that includes if you have a question about your courses. If you have a question about your courses, or you have a question about recertification that's coming up, then we cannot even email you back. Okay, that's how strict they are. So that's why it's super important to reach out. If you're not hearing from us, reach out to us. Let us help you figure it out. There's buttons we can push. There's things we can look into, all that good stuff. All right, so all of that to say, if you read the newsletter this morning, then you know a little bit about this bee in my bonnet. So I spent the last week rubbing shoulders with multi-millionaires. I was on a private jet. I met famous people. I talked to them. I broke bread with them. I hung out with them, and I learned from them and soaked up so much. And they were asking me all about me and Acadian and you guys, and they encouraged me to have a clear vision for where Acadian is headed. Now, I've had a clear vision for a while. We rebranded, for those of you who've been around for a while, or maybe you don't know, whatever. We were Fast and Easy QBO for a long time. And then last fall, we rebranded as Acadian. The reason we rebranded is because we initially were focused totally on teaching QuickBooks Online, and then we decided, for various reasons I won't go into today, we decided to teach bookkeeping and accounting, not just software. So we rebranded as our big vision, and I said at the time, so some of you were on that launch call, I said at the time that my goal for Acadian was to create graduates who were so amazing and so impressive that employers don't want to work with anyone else. That everyone says it's an Acadian graduate or nobody, right? Everyone says, I want my students to become Acadian graduates, or I want my employees to go through Acadian, or I want to hire somebody who's already been trained by Acadian. Either way, I want you guys to be so good that it's undeniable. That you guys are so head and shoulders above everybody else. Okay, so I said that back in November. But here's the thing that I realized as I was getting, business advice from all of these high-level top players, including an ex-NFL player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm not a football person, but it's still kind of cool to say that that I know and have the personal phone number of an ex-NFL player. All right. So, but here's the thing that I realized that they helped me realize. Oh, I got fuzzy all of a sudden. Too many hand gestures make me fuzzy. All right, there we go. And the thing that they helped me realize is that I can't just say it. I can't just say that this is my goal. Like, I have to actually put it in. I have to put things into place to make sure that that is the case. I have to measure, and I have to, Dan Martell, my business coach, says you have to inspect what you expect. Okay? So I have to make sure that you guys, if you guys are walking around with an Acadian logo or something, or if you're telling people, well, there's two things. One is that you have to, I need you to tell people that you are an Acadian graduate. That's one thing. So we have to somehow put into place something that encourages you to, like, say, yes, I am an Acadian graduate. Okay, so that's one thing. We have to implement that. The other thing is that you have to be a rock star. You have to, I cannot tolerate mediocrity. If I'm going to I can't have mediocre people out there saying, oh yes, I'm an Acadian graduate, if my goal is for Acadian graduates to be so amazing, right? You have to be amazing. I have to help you be amazing. And I have to make sure that you are. So we're going to be unveiling some changes along these lines, which you'll see rolled out over the next few weeks as we implement ways to help you become the best version of you. That's really what it is. You have to become the best version of you if you're going to carry around the Acadian name. That's just all the way, that's all there is to it. So we're going to be providing, lots of perks. So some of you who are already like there or almost there, you're going to get some perks that we're going to establish here shortly. That's one thing. Another thing is the format of this call is going to start to be a little bit different. We're also going to be doing more like monthly, I think they're going to do monthly free workshops to help you be better. The first one, again, we talked about it in the newsletter and I talked about it in the Facebook group. The first one is going to be next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You should have gotten some emails about it. If you're not getting our emails, make sure you get our emails. So the first one on Tuesday is going to be a goal setting workshop that it's a process that I developed back in 2010 that literally changed the course of my life. And got me through the darkest days of my divorce. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have this methodology that I developed for myself. At the time, I was so excited about it that I started teaching it to other people. And it was just such an incredible, 2010 was, really what I call like the great epiphany year for me. And so we're going to be teaching it. I'm going to be teaching it on Tuesday to help you level up, to help you get clear on your goals, and to get clear on how to actually achieve them, and to help you actually take steps to actually do them and actually see real, actual things happen in your life. So that's coming on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're gonna do more of these. We have a new marketing director here at Acadian, and he's like, I'll come and I will teach marketing if that's what they need, like whatever we need you to be a force for good in the world. That's really what it comes down to, is that the world is confused and frustrated because they do not understand money. Okay? The world, the business owner, every day people are, I don't want to take up the whole call. I could just go on about this, guys. I remember having a conversation with my kid's principal because our math scores were so low, not my kids' scores, but the school overall, the math scores were so low, and she was unveiling here's all of our goals for next week or next year and how we're going to improve things. And there was no goal for improving math. And I said, why is there no, look at how low our math is. Why isn't one of your goals to increase the math skills? And you know what she said to me? She said, these are her literal words. She said, honestly, Mrs. Remmers, it's because we don't know how. Yeah, that's what she said. The world is so hungry. The world is so hungry for clarity in numbers, especially money. We need an army of people to go out and bring clarity to the world, to bring clarity to businesses, to bring clarity. When businesses thrive, families thrive. When families thrive, communities thrive. When communities thrive, the nation thrives. And you guys can be that force for good. I can give you all the education in the world that I want. Like, I can just pump out course after course after course, right? Because that's what I do. That's what I'm good at. You guys all love me. But unless we are shaping you to take it out into the world, it doesn't do any good. Like, I'm not here to just make money, right? I am here to make an impact. I am here to bring clarity to first your mind, so that you understand it, and then you can go out and help other people understand it. And the more we do that, some of you are old enough to remember those shampoo commercials, you know, like, and I told two friends, and I told two friends, and I told two friends. And we have a real opportunity here to make an impact, but we can only do that if you step up and be the best person, the best bookkeeper you can possibly be, the best representative of clarity in the world. All right. I see the chat's blowing up. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'll read the comments. Later, but oh my gosh, guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. Today's exercise. I don't even have time to do like my normal speech that I do, because I had to get off. I had to be up on my soapbox today. So we're not even going to go through my normal intro. So those of you who are new, oh my gosh, you got so Dan Martell is my business coach, and when he shows up and he's like, has a rant like that, like I just did, they call him Spicy Dan. So it's like everyone says, oh, Spicy Dan is here today. So I guess I'm Spicy Margie today. All right. Things are going to change. Like, you guys have to, like, I need you to step up and be the best that you can be. All right, let me get this set up, because I talked so long, it all timed out. All right, exercise of the week. All right, last week we talked about, I need you to understand this. I need you to understand how it works. You have to understand this. So last week, in our exercise of the week, for those of you who are new, you can watch the recording is available for a limited time on in the group in the events section. And then it's only there until we get it posted on YouTube. Once it's on YouTube, then you can watch it there. So last week we talked about processing bank feeds. So typically in your day as a bookkeeper, like, this is where you're going to spend most of your life, is processing bank feeds. So we talked last week, if you're not familiar with bank feeds, last week is when we talked about that. Today we're going to be talking about reconciling a bank account. You have to be reconciling. You have to be reconciling. Everything that you do has to be reconciled. Our tax advisory council members have said that if they open up a set of books and the books are not reconciled, like, that's the first thing they look at to see if it's reconciled. If it's not reconciled, they don't trust it at all, and they just throw it away and start over, okay? And that means, by the way, it's not that they don't just trust the books, they don't trust you, because it was your responsibility to do it. And so this is why accountants have like bad vibes about bookkeepers, Because if the bookkeepers are not doing things the way the accountants expect them to be done, they're just gonna, they're just gonna roll their eyes. Okay, and that's not what we want. That's not what an elite bookkeeper is. An elite bookkeeper means you're doing things in a way that makes life easier for the accountant that you're going to turn the books over to and the business owner so that they can actually use the records. Otherwise, it's just a waste of their money. That's why they get rid of you, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go offshore. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go like get somebody cheaper. Because if you're not doing your job correctly and showing your value, then they don't value it. They're like, oh, I can, I'm paying Sally $500 a month. Look, I could pay these other people, I could pay Intuit $100 a month. And look how much money I'd save. Okay, but not you guys. You guys are going to be elite bookkeepers and do things correctly. Whew, I am spicy today. All right. So let me turn on my cursor. All right, so for those of you who are members of the QBO gym, don't forget that if you have earned 250 points, then you have the exercise of the week has unlocked for you, and you need to use the link that is inside. Okay. That you need to use this link here and not the link. Is going to put, Lindsay's going to put the link to the exercise in the chat. All right, I stopped my screen share for just a second because I forgot to acknowledge that Lindsay Key has just been promoted to Student Success Manager here at Acadian. So many of you know and love Lindsay. She has been Program Manager here for 9 months, something like that, and has just knocked it out of the park. You guys know her and love her. She is the one there with you in the study hall, the Getting Clients cohort, and she is so encouraging in the locker room and on these calls. And so she has been promoted to Student Success Manager. And what that means actually is she is the one that is responsible for helping you and providing the tools of what you need to be what I just described, the best version of you, right? Getting through the course, helping you get through the courses, helping you understand, helping you make sure that you are what Acadian stands for, what we're looking for in Acadian graduates. So yes, very exciting for Lindsay, and she's here today helping us out because Joel couldn't be here. So anyway, all right, let me share my screen again. So here's our exercise of the week. We're going to be talking about reconciling a bank account. As a bookkeeper, your primary responsibility is to ensure that all financial transactions are correctly categorized and match the flow of money into and out of the bank. You have just received the monthly statement from Craig's Bank. Now it's time to confirm that all the transactions have been correctly added to and categorized in QuickBooks Online. All right, so we always start our exercises in the sample company. If you're currently logged into your QuickBooks Online accountant account, then you can hit the gear icon in the upper right-hand corner and select Sample Company. Or we have a little quick link where you can type acadian.com/QBOA, and Lindsay will put that in the chat. And that will just take you directly to the Sample Company. Both work, okay? This is the sandbox where we do all of our exercises, at least for right now. That might change in the near future. Maybe I have some news that I cannot share yet. Okay, so all right, so here we are in the sample company. Okay, Yeah. So thank you, Lindsay. Somebody asked about how you know how many points you have in the gym. Um, there's a little down this little button right here. You click that, it'll open up and show you how many points you have. Okay. All right. So so now back to my exercise. Yes, little oh my gosh, I'm still so spicy and on fire. I'm distracted by I'm distracted by the vision, guys. I need the vision is so bright, I need some sunglasses. All right, so we're gonna get started with the exercise, and we need to be in, all right, here. All right, before we get started with the exercise, what I wanted to talk about was the difference between processing bank feeds and reconciling. Okay, this is important. This is the thing that you're going to be doing for like the majority of your life as a bookkeeper. Okay, so on the left hand side, we're going to go to transactions and then bank transactions. In the sample company, this is already also bookmarked, so you could go there. It goes to the same place. Okay. Close all the pop-ups. Okay. This is the part that we talked about last week. So go watch the video last week if you're new and you don't know what we're talking about. Okay. But QuickBooks Online and most, I would say all financial software now, can connect to a bank, and the bank can send records to QuickBooks Online for you to then verify to make sure that there is a matching record in QuickBooks Online. Okay, so what we talked about last week, not last week because it wasn't here, but the week before, is that what you're seeing here, what this list right here, is a combination of that bank feed transaction record and QuickBooks Online. Okay, it's like trying to match the two. We've got the bank coming in, then we've got QuickBooks Online. We're trying to match the two. That's what bank feed transactions are. Okay, reconciling is it's the opposite. Okay, so with bank feed transactions, you're looking at the bank records to make sure that they match QuickBooks Online. Then when you reconcile, you're looking at the QBO records to make sure that they are matched in the bank record. And you can tell that because you were going to be using a bank statement. Okay? Super, super, super important that you understand the difference. Okay? Bank transactions, this list is the bank information from the bank. When we get into reconciling, the list that you see there is the transactions from QBO. Okay? All right. Let's get back to I'm distracted off of my exercise. Okay, so let's go back to the exercise. We're getting started with the exercise. There's a number of ways to get to the reconcile screen. You just saw me just now click the different tab, the other tab, but you can also go to Accountant Tools, which is what this exercise shows. You'll notice that my screen here has a little button that says Guide Me, okay? All of our exercises are created using a software called Scribe, and Scribe has a Google plugin. So if you, a Chrome extension. It's a Chrome extension. If you if you're using Google Chrome, you can get this free extension. It looks like this, okay? This little red thing there, okay? And you can install this this Chrome extension. And when you do, when you're working on our exercises, you'll see this little Guide Me button. And if you have the sample company already loaded and you click Guide Me, you have to hit Confirm. Magic happens. And now we have the sample company on the left-hand side and the exercise on the right-hand side so you can do them side by side, okay? Lindsay can put in the chat. Sorry, I got lost here. Okay, good. She put in the chat about how to, like, everything I just said about the Scribe extension, how to load it, all of that stuff, okay? All right, so here we are. Now we're looking at them side by side. We're going to go to Reconcile. So we could have gone to Accountant Tools and Reconcile. Oh, I guess I have to now. Okay, so I'm going to go do exactly what it says. These kind of intro screens, we're just going to skip that. And all right, now remember I said that when you reconcile, when you're reconciling a bank account, this is not true for all reconciliation, but when you're reconciling a bank account, you have to use the bank statement. So remember, what we're doing is we're checking everything that we have in QuickBooks Online and everything that's at the bank. We want to make sure that they match up, okay? We've already done it one direction, so it should be fairly easy to do it, and it should not take very much time. But sometimes it does. Sometimes you have to like hunt things down and figure out like, why isn't this working? All right, but we're going to understand today exactly how you reconcile. This is so huge, guys. Somebody posted, I started to say this earlier, somebody posted a question in the locker room yesterday, and I decided that instead of just giving the answer, because I want you guys to be elite bookkeepers, I decided to push a little bit and have this person think through where the record she was looking at came from. That's kind of what inspired me to do this for today. So anyway, all right, so you always have to have, always 100% have to have a bank statement. You cannot reconcile without a bank statement. So you'll get this bank statement a number of ways. Some banks will automatically import the bank statement into automatically import it into QBO. Sometimes you will have access, you'll have your own login to the bank and you can just download it. Sometimes you have to ask the business owner to send it to you. Okay, so there's lots of different ways to get it, but you have to have it. For this exercise, we've got a link right here with a sample bank statement right there. There it is. This is what we're going to be looking at. Now, when you reconcile, okay, there's two things that you need off of that bank statement to start with, okay? So the first one is the statement ending balance. The beginning balance will always be the previous, the statement ending previous, okay? So if the beginning balance is wrong, there's a problem further up the chain, okay? So, and we're not going to cover, I have a lesson or an exercise somewhere about what to do if the beginning balance is wrong, okay? But the beginning balance is always going to be from the last one. So what we're doing is we're putting in the new balance from the statement, okay? So this is just a sample. Every bank statement looks a little bit different, has everything organized differently, has things in different places, okay? You guys, by the way, should be doing your own personal finances. If you are not doing your own personal finances, please stop everything and manage your own personal finances. You should be reconciling your own accounts too. Like, this is a great practice. This is like my favorite thing to do every month, actually. I'm such a geek. I love reconciling I use a software called Banktivity. A lot of people always ask. I use a software called Banktivity. I love it so much. but it's only for Macs. So if you don't have a Mac, there's all sorts of things out there. There's Quicken is one that you could use. Quicken is how Intuit started, but they have since sold it off. So, yeah, so you should be doing this with your own finances, with your own bank statements every month, okay? So here's our ending balance, 3890.89, 3890.89. So we're going to go in 3890.89, okay? Now, in a real life scenario, what you would be doing is getting the statement ending date also from the statement, okay? In the sample company, the dates are always changing, and so with our Acadian exercises, we rarely, if ever, put in actual dates. Okay, so for our exercise, we're just going to put in today's date. Okay, and let's see, what does this say? For the purpose of it, use the last date of the previous month for the ending date. Okay, that's what we're doing for this exercise. We'll see how that works. A lot of times most of our exercises just use today's date, but we'll see what happens. So this is April 18th, so we're going to put in May 31st. See what happens. May 31st, 25. Okay. Now, you'll notice that I am getting an error message. And the error message is because I have not yet processed the bank feeds in this session of the sample company. Okay, that's okay. We don't need them in real life. Excuse me. In real life, you would want to process all the bank feed records first, and then when you go to reconcile, hopefully everything's done and perfect. But that's not always the case. All right. I just want to make sure. I just realized I had been kind of ignoring the case. Yeah, you're right. It should be March, not May. What am I thinking? I'm still spicy. All right. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure. I was ignoring the I was ignoring the chat earlier because I was like, I don't want to get too distracted. And then I realized I was ignoring the chat while I was doing the exercise, and that's not good. So, all right, we'll go through the chat like when we're done here. All right, so now we're going to click Start Reconciling. Now, I'm going to close this little left navigation bar. I'm going to click here so you have more room. Now, a lot of people get confused when they see this screen. They're like, what am I looking at? So we want to make sure that you understand what it is that you're doing, okay? So first of all, I want you to point out this list right here is the list of unreconciled transactions in QuickBooks Online on or before the statement ending date, okay? So I put in March 31st. So if I go in and I look, I'm not going to see any dates, any transactions here in April. Okay, so on or before, I've got some really old ones here. Okay, on or before the statement ending date that I put in. These are QBO transactions. So if you do not see a QBO transaction that should be here, if you see something on the bank statement and it's not in this list, what does that mean? Well, it could mean that nobody entered that in the first place, so it could mean that it doesn't exist. It could mean that it has been reconciled already. Okay, so if it's been reconciled already, that is also going to prevent it from being on this list. Okay. All right. So that's this. All right. So let's talk about what all of these numbers are here. Okay. So the beginning balance is right here. The beginning balance. Remember we said we cannot change the beginning balance. This is automatically, this is from the last time, okay? The beginning balance is the ending balance from the last time you reconciled. It cannot be changed. Linda, the recording will be available in the group right after this. So it's on Zoom. Takes a few minutes to process, and then my assistant will post it in the group chat or in the group event. But it will only stay there until the YouTube video version is ready, and that will be and it depends on my editor, has a weird schedule. So usually it takes a week or so, I don't know, 3 or 5 days. Okay. All right, so that's the beginning balance. The statement ending balance, okay, this one right here, this number, that's the number we just entered from the statement, okay? So statement ending balance, okay, yeah, statement ending balance. If you discovered you have entered the ending balance or the statement date incorrectly, you can click Edit Info to change it. That's what this button is right here. Okay, this is the balance that we put in. This is the date we put in. All right, next. Now, next to each transaction, I've got to scroll a little bit, is a circle, okay? This circle will have a blue check mark if the transaction has already been marked cleared, such as by processing the bank feeds. Now, as I mentioned, we did not process the bank feeds this time around because we're doing this in 2 separate sessions. I didn't process the bank feeds, but if I had, then you would see a little blue check. You would also see this little symbol here. It's like a little green, do I have a picture of it? No. That would say it has been matched the bank feeds, okay? All right. When a transaction is checked, it is added to the total payments or deposits, okay? So right now, I have 0 payments checked and 0 deposits checked, okay? So this one is a deposit. If I check it, notice what happens, okay? That number goes there. Same with the payment. Here's a payment. If I check it, okay? So all of the payments that are checked are going to total up right here. All of the deposits are going to total up right here. And then that number is going to, this whole equation right here, the beginning balance minus the total payments plus the deposits is going to total up right here in the cleared balance, okay? Now, it's then going to take notice this equation here. Here's the statement ending balance. Here's the cleared balance. You want this to be equal so that the difference between them is 0. Okay, by doing that, what you're saying is, yes, I have all of the records that are on the bank statement. I have them in QuickBooks Online, okay? That's the whole point of what we're doing, is to make sure that all of the records in QuickBooks Online match the records in the bank and vice versa, okay? All right, so that is how that works. All right, in the remaining steps of this exercise, we're going to complete the reconciliation by checking each transaction until the difference is 0. If you already have any blue check marks, uncheck them individually, which I'm going to do, boom. Or uncheck all at once, which I could have done using the circle up here, okay? So, me personally, when I reconcile, I like to start from scratch. I like to just wipe everything out, make sure I'm just anal that way. But you don't have to. And it also frankly depends on the number of transactions. If there's a huge number of transactions, you don't necessarily want to spend your time rechecking everything, and vice versa. If there's a small number of transactions and you're 100% confident that those are correct, then you can just accept them and move on. But I always feel better when I do like the checking off. Okay, so we're going to use that statement. Okay, and we're going to find all the matching deposits. Now we can use this filter right here to click deposits and now only show the deposits. Speaking of filters, we already have one filter in place right here, and that is the statement ending date. Okay, so we could take off that filter. Sometimes you have to do that. We might have to because, I don't know, the dates in the sample company are always changing, so I'm a little nervous that we put March 31st, but we'll see. We'll see how it works, okay? And so we could clear the filter. We could do more filtering here, okay? So, but for now, we're just going to look at just the deposits. Now we're going to find and check all of the checks. So I'm going to go back to my statement, and in this particular bank statement, this is not always the case, but in this particular bank statement, we're going to the checks are separated out. Okay, sometimes they're just like in a row, like they're just in line, and other times they are they're grouped like this. Okay, so this one they have to be grouped. So we've got check number 2, 4, and 5. I would normally have these like on my giant screen side by side. But I also have the exercise here, so yeah, so we've got to go back and forth. But normally what I do is I have the bank statement up on the left, and I have my software up on the right, and I just like compare the two like that. I also have been known to print because I'm a paper girl. I love paper, and so sometimes I still print. That's me. All right, so here we go. 2, 4, and 5. Let's make sure these numbers are correct. Let's see. Here is the reference number. I don't see any checks at all. Oh, what are we doing? I was looking at the checks. These are the checks that were written. What I want to look at is these checks right here that were deposited. Money in versus money out. All right, so we've got a $175 check and an $86.40 check. Here's a $175, $86.40. Notice how I'm checking it off. These deposits increase. So, oh, here. Oh, no, I can't do it while I'm screen sharing. So, yeah, Laura says, I print too. I get a sense of completion marking off the reconciled ones on my statement to match QBO. Yeah. And also you can like use pencil and like erase if there's things. And there's also the satisfaction that comes from putting it through the shredder. So, yeah, there's all sorts of good stuff. Okay. So, let's see. 175, 86.40. 225 and 105. 225, 105. 694, 337.50. All right, those are our deposits. Yeah, highlighters are good too. Okay, so those are our deposits. Okay, click the payments tab. Okay, so now we're going to do the checks. We're going to do the payments tab. Okay, and now these are the reference numbers I was looking for earlier. Okay, what does this say? Click the payments tab, then click type to group all of the checks together. Okay, click type. Obviously you don't have to do this, but it is helpful. So here I have all of my checks together. So I'm going to check off 2, 4, and 5. 2, 4, and 5. Let's see, did I get 1808, 6201, and 5455? Yep, those are correct. All right, now we've got 12, 69, and 70, 55, 100, and 185. 12, 69, and 70. All right, we've got 12. We've got 70. But we don't have a 69, okay? So, but I can see that I have a check here that matches the amount. And so I could confirm that this was actually, I could do research and confirm that this was actually the one that was check number 69. And I can actually, if I click on it, I can actually add the check number right here, okay? Remember when we were processing bank feeds, how we couldn't change it right on the screen like that? We had one Hicks hardware that had the incorrect amount, and so we couldn't change it right on the screen. Why can we, here's a little group participation. Why is it that when you're processing bank feeds, you can't change it right there on the screen, but when you're reconciling, you can change it right on the screen? I will wait. This is important. I need my elite bookkeepers to understand. Different details? Nope. Annabelle, yes. Bank feeds come from the bank. You can't change the bank record. Exactly, Stephanie. You can't change the bank record. But what you're looking at here, remember this list, this is a list of QBO transactions. You can change QBO transactions all day long, okay? All right, good job, ladies. All right, so where are we? We did type, okay. We did all of the checks. Note that one number is missing a check number, 69. We did that, we did that, we did that. Now we're going to find the remaining debits. Click date to put the transactions back in the order they started in. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, date. Here we go. Okay. All right. Using the sample bank statement, find and check the remaining debits payments. Note the following. There are 2 transactions with similar amounts. Check the one that matches the bank statement. In a real-life scenario, you would need to investigate what happened here. For purposes of this exercise, we will ignore it. Okay, let's see. All right, so here we have other debits. So we're going to go 300, 250, 3850. Let's see, 300, 250, aha, here's the 2. Sales tax payment, one for $38.50, one for $38.40. You're like, what's going on there? But according to the statement, it is supposed to be $38.50. $38.50. Okay. So then we've got 8909, 250, and 10809. 8909, 250, 10809. You'll notice that when I do this, I am almost exclusively looking at the number. I'm really like, that's my thought process. I'm just going number, 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 number. But when you have a number like, you know, all those Facebook ads that you see of me, those cost, you pay for those in $500 chunks. So I have like $1,500,000 payments to Facebook on my credit card. Those are really tough to reconcile. Third time you answer my question before you send. That's awesome, Deborah. Deb. Sorry, Deb. Yeah. That's because I read minds. All right. All right, let's see. Where am I? Okay, so we did blah, blah, blah. 2438. Okay, this is the one here. There is one transaction with a different amount than the bank statement. Except in extremely rare cases, the bank is always correct. So we'll want to correct the transaction in QBO. We'll do that in the next step. All right, so we'll skip that one and we'll go to, we've got 1999, 566, and 5214. 1999, 56, 5214. Oh, there it is. I love this, guys. In my retirement, I'm just going to reconcile all the time. I just love reconciling. This is my favorite thing to do. I do this for fun. Oh my gosh. Rain too? Yes. Lindsay Roberts. Oh, no, I'm talking about that was something else. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, so 5240. Okay, 900, 215.66, 386. 900, 215.66, 386. All right, what did I do wrong? I missed something. I missed one somewhere. I missed check 69. I missed more. I missed more than that because my difference is 388. My difference is supposed to be 2438. Annabelle says 386. Laura says bookkeeping is like a puzzle, making all the pieces fit to create the whole picture. Yes, yes. All right, what did I do wrong, guys? Somebody else had one similar. You clicked on the wrong amount, 2436, and didn't. 2436. Oh yeah, we're not supposed to do that one. And I was supposed to do that one. There we go. Thank you. Who was that? David. Thank you, David. All right. So now we're going to address the one that's different. So here on the bank statement, Hicks Hardware, it says 2438. And our version says 2436. So again, in rare circumstances, most of the time, except for rare circumstances, the bank is always right. So whatever the bank says, that's correct. It being different in the, different in QBO, very typical, like that's very common. An 8 and a 6 look very similar. Somebody probably just typed it wrong. It's no big deal. So we're just going to go into that one and change it right here to 2438. And now all we have to do is check it. And green check mark, the best thing ever. All right, so we've got 0. Now we hit finish now. Okay. You can view a reconciliation report if you want. Oh, I guess we're doing that in the exercise. All right, let's view the reconciliation report. Yes, Deb is asking, say, we can also drill down and look at the check image from the bank, correct? Yes. Yes, you can, if the bank, most banks do now, but if the bank is sending it, yes, you can. Some banks actually attach it to the bank record in QBO when you're processing bank feeds. So that's a thing too. All right. So I guess we're looking at the reconciliation report. All right, so here is all of the stuff that we just did. Here is all of the things that we checked off. And then here are all of the things that were still uncleared as of the date, as of the statement date. All right, there's an opportunity for you to print this report in a real life scenario. Simply click the printer icon. Yeah, I don't typically do this. When Corey is teaching the cleanup course, in our cleanup course, she always prints them. She always prints every reconciliation report, everything she's done, to make sure that she has everything. So one of the things she'll say is that 99 times out of 100, you won't need it. Like it's just fine. But the one time you do need it, she said it's so helpful to have. So that would be if you're doing a cleanup, and you're like making lots of changes to things, then you would want to print it. I typically don't print it for, anyway, just for my purposes, just for regular. Okay, oops. Lindsay says, scroll down a little. What? Oh, I think we took care of that. Okay, so that is our exercise for today. Let me go back and see if there are other questions that I missed. Okay. Look at what I can do now. See? This is what I've been complaining. Can you see that? You can see that, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is what I was complaining about not being able to do anymore since we switched to Zoom. And then Uyi said, no, you can do it. And so she gave us some resources, and now I can share comments. I'm so excited. I can share comments. So Carrie Ann says, can you view the reconciliation report later in reports? I don't think that it's in the report center, but you can go to history by report or history by account under reconciliations, and yes, pull it up at any time. Okay, now to take you off, I have to click you again, which means I have to find you. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. Claire says, I'm going backwards. Claire says, will you have a class on going over how to correct a reconciliation report? Yes. We have an exercise for that already. There's only 3 reasons why. So what happens is sometimes if you try and reconcile, you will get a reconciliation discrepancy report. So I think that's probably what you're talking about. The reconciliation discrepancy report happens when one of 3 things happen to a reconciled transaction. 1 is the amount changed, 2 is the reconciliation status changed, or 3 is the transaction was deleted. Okay, we do have an exercise in the vault somewhere about how to handle those 3 situations. But yes, we will absolutely at some point do that. All right, let's see. Neato, that's so cute. Let's see. How can you get to that report from other locations? David. All right, so now that we've had 2 questions about it, let me go ahead and share my screen again so you can see exactly where to do that. All right, I'm just going to close the exercise. Okay, and here if I just click reconcile, so let me open up the left navigation bar again. So it's under transactions, and you go to reconcile. That's the same, by the way, for those of you who are new, this is a good little tidbit. When you're on the left navigation bar and you hover over an item here and you have these little pop out things, these are actually tabs in that center. So this is called the transaction center, and each of these is a tab in that center. So see how it says bank transactions, app transactions, receipts, and here I am in the transaction center, bank transactions, app transactions, receipts. Okay, so in the reconciliation part, you'll notice that it has history by account. Okay, so if I go to history by account, all right, pop-ups everywhere. This is where you view all of the reports. So you have view report. And if this were a real company, I don't know why you can't do this in the sample company, but in the, oh, I got blurry again. There we go. In the real world, this action column, in addition to print report, has an undo option. So you can actually undo a reconciliation if you need to, okay? And then here you can select the different accounts. So if I wanted to switch to the savings account and it hasn't been reconciled yet, okay? All right, let's see. What else have we got going on here in the chat? Okay. Let's see. Laura says, reconciling credit cards works the same as the bank reconcile. I'm assuming these should all be done before the bank reconcile, correct? So credit cards, why do I keep getting fuzzy, y'all? All right, I'm gonna have my husband look at what's wrong with my camera. So bank statements, like the, focus on the mic. Oh, Deb for the win. All right, make sure you can still hear me though. Okay. All right, can you still hear me okay? Let me move it this way. Okay, all right. Okay, so, all right, so for bank statements, these are typically on a monthly schedule, okay? So typically it runs through the 31st of the month, or the 1st and 2nd, like around there, they're monthly. Credit card statements are on their own schedule. They're often like the 15th of the month or the 21st of the month. Like, I don't know why they're that way. So you don't have to reconcile bank statements before you reconcile credit card statements. You'll do them on a different schedule, usually. So yes, reconciling credit cards statements is definitely something you should do. And you should always, 100% of the time, do it before you pay the credit card, okay? So typically you'll get the statement, you'll reconcile it, and then you know that it's ready to pay, okay? All right, so, and we have exercises in there, definitely in the gym. So, all right, let's see. And Deb is saying each account ought to be done every month, maybe different days, but monthly. It depends on when the statements come out. Sometimes you won't get sometimes you'll only get a statement quarterly, depending on the type of account, the activity in the account. But whenever you get a statement, you should reconcile, yes. And that's for banks. I mean, there are if you look in the archives and watch on the YouTube videos, like we did just like a month ago or something, we talked about how to reconcile liability account. So there are accounts that you need to reconcile that are not just bank accounts. Investment accounts typically, so Deb is also asking about investment accounts. If it depends on the liquidity of the investment. If it is a savings account, for example, which is technically an investment account, right? Then you'll get you'll get a statement, you're earning interest, all of the time. But other accounts, you typically don't get, you don't need to do it until the money is realized. So if you sell, example, so if it's like stock, then you wouldn't reconcile it, or like I own crypto, and so it just sits there and it goes up and down or whatever, and so you don't have to reconcile all, because that changes daily, right? And the same is true for like other investments, stocks, bonds. I'm not a financial person, that type of financial person, but yeah, those change every day. So yeah, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So when a tax hit or deduction apply, essentially, yeah, I guess you could say that. Tara is asking, why is it some people enter the credit card as a bill and some people do not? I don't know. It could be a transfer, it could be an expense, it could be a bill. It could be pay down credit card. Intuit actually really, really wants you to use the pay down credit card feature, because that has controls to make sure that people aren't doing it incorrectly. So yeah, you'll have to ask them. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Claire says, that is what was screwing me up, was the payments applying to the credit card. It was duplicating. Oh. All right. Okay. Is there a class on, Tara says, is there a class on the pay down credit card? Probably. Yeah. If you go to, typically I show this, but I didn't today because, I had my rant. But let me just show you in the Facebook group. Why isn't it sharing? I'm not trying to select two desktops. There we go. Okay. So in the Facebook group, okay, in the locker room here, so in the featured section, so you can either go to the featured tab here, or there is a tile right here that says featured. There is this post that says welcome to the locker room, okay? Over 100 free hands-on exercises. Excuse me. So when you go to the hands-on exercises, there's a link right there that takes you to the exercises, and I'm sure that they are I'm told that it sometimes takes a while to load because there's so many exercises, but there's a link in there. Just give it a second, it'll load up, and then you'll see all of the free exercises that we have there. Many of them, not all, but many of them have videos attached to them, so you can watch the video, but it's all there. All right, I'm gonna go way back to the beginning of the chat and see. I know we had a ton of people that, I'm still screen sharing. There we go. I know we had a ton of people. All right, everyone's talking about how awesome Uyi is. Carrie Ann, this was your first time. I hope you had a good time. Victoria, this was your first time. You got spicy Margie today. Celine, also first time. Woohoo. Excellent. Carrie Ann is here to learn more. Fabulous. Fabulous. Zakia, how long will be this class? Those of you who've been around for a while know that I am long-winded. It's typically an hour and a half. Sometimes I talk longer. Like right now, I'm going through the chat, and we're an hour and a half in, and we still have a couple of things to talk about. Yeah, so let's see. Christina says, thankful to you for adding, oh, I should put this. Yeah, I forgot. I can put them on the screen. Thankful to you for adding teaching the fast bookkeeping. All right. Brenda, dang, it gets better. All right. Okay, so I see a bunch of people talking about the schedule. So there is, I just showed it on the screen, but I will show it again because I didn't point it out that it was there. We have, so also in the featured section is This Week at Acadian. So everyone that was asking about a schedule, This Week at Acadian says when everything is happening. So we have Acadian Study Hall, which is, there's a nominal fee for that. It's not free, but it's not very much. I think it's $27 a month, and you get an opportunity to hang out with other people who are on the journey. Okay, so other Acadian students, during the study hall, you can work on whatever you want. You can work on your courses, you can work on your client work, you can work on your marketing, all of that, anything you want. Basically, the way it works is you show up and everyone gets together, everyone sets their intentions for the hour, and then you all turn off your cameras, everyone gets to work and does their thing, and then after 50 minutes, everybody comes on and shares what they accomplished and congratulates each other and asks questions and all that. And Lindsay, who was our amazing formerly program manager and now student success manager, is she runs that. So you can sign up for it. You can find the whole schedule. Also, every Monday morning at around 9 a.m. Eastern, I go live inside the group and talk about all of the things that are happening, including all of the study halls, the fast track live, the locker room live, and then if there's a cleanup Zoom call coming up, and then of course the goal planning workshop we have coming up. So, all right. All righty, so that's that. Yes, everything is always recorded. Tara wants to be a force for good in the world. Awesome. All right. I was at a financial meeting yesterday and I was so confused and I kept saying it cannot be too hard. I don't know what that was referring to, but yeah, a lot of people. Stephanie says, ugh, as a former teacher, that would send a bee in my bonnet. That was me saying, the principal saying, we don't know how to help the math scores, so we're not going to do it. That was a comment from that. All righty. Aw, thank you. Brenda says you have definitely made an impact. I appreciate that, Brenda, but we are just we're not even the tip of the iceberg. We're like a snowflake, maybe more than a snowflake, maybe a snowball at the tip of the iceberg. We have so far to go. Alrighty. Tammy says, love you, Margie. Thank you. I love you too. She also says Dan is amazing. She's talking about Dan Martell. Yes, and so handsome. And I got to spend a whole week with him. All right. Spicy Margie. Okay. YouTube channel. All right, let's see. All right, now we're getting started working. Oh, now everyone's congratulating Lindsay on her promotion. We're talking about points in the gym. We covered that. Not Margie hinting at more news that she can't share yet. LOL. Yeah. Some people know me well. That, yeah, because so many exciting things happen all the time. All right. Brenda says, oh, let's see. So nosy. Brenda says, we're excited about the vision. I'm great. David, nice 80s song reference. Love it. I don't even remember now what that was. All right, now we're getting into doing the reconciliations. Brenda is, I love you're as geeky as I am about loving the reconciliations. Okay. Lindsay says, I notice you teaching in your reply to that post. Yes, you're going to see more of that. We need to do more of that, more teaching and less just giving the answer, because that's how you get better. That's how you get better. Let's see. Still congratulating Lindsay. Yes, I messed up. The date was March 31st. Okay. All right. I think I've got everything now. We're going through the exercise. Now we'll see if we have any more hard questions. Let's see. Okay. Bum. All right, now I'm here to where Deb fixed my problem because I kept focusing on the mic. I moved it out of frame and now we're good. So thank you, Deb. All right, we talked about investment accounts, credit cards. All right, let's see. We love Spicy Margie. You guys are so funny. Lindsay says, amazing group of people in the study hall, so helpful and encouraging. And she's not biased just because she runs it. She's telling the truth there because it's amazing. All right. Excuse me. Lindsay Roberts says, come join us in study hall. It's easy to feel alone in this work from home world, but when we're working together, it makes us feel supported. Awesome. Yes. Thank you. I should grab that testimonial. Plus, Stephanie says, plus the people are fabulous. Woohoo! All right. All right. Lots of love for the study hall, making sure that I've got everybody's questions. Tara says, thank you for all you do. This platform and all the support, encouragement, and information is awesome. Have a lovely weekend. Same to you. I'm excited about the 22nd. That's going to be our goal achieving workshop. All right, what is this? Deb says, well, now I want to skip ahead on fast track to reconciliations. All in due time. All right, Deb says, I just joined and have only made a couple study halls, but they make a big difference. Awesome. All right. Okay, folks. All right. So the last thing that we need to talk about is marketing prompts. So every exercise a week comes with a marketing prompt. Okay. The reason we have this, when you're in the QBO gym, which I didn't even talk to you about what the QBO gym is. But the QBO gym is an opportunity for you to actually practice being a bookkeeper for our fictitious business owner. You do it for a year, and well, there's actually 2 years available, but you can get a year's worth of experience in just about 42 real-time hours. So if you have ever said to yourself, well, I took the test, but I still don't really know what I'm doing, or I wish that I could shadow somebody and see what life is really like as a bookkeeper, or I wish I could be an intern and see what, just kind of see if I even like bookkeeping or what it's all about, or how do I do it, every day. Then that's what the QBO gym is for. You get to be like I said, a bookkeeper for a fictitious business owner. And all throughout the year, all sorts of things happen to this business owner that you then have to record in QuickBooks Online. So as you are working through the gym, you earn marketing prompts. And the reason that I added them is because I kept hearing people say, I know that I'm supposed to post on social media, but I don't know what to say. And I just kept thinking, how do you not know what to say? Like every day you're learning something new. Like there's so much in QuickBooks Online that you could be talking about. And I just decided I'm just going to throw them in. So in the gym, you actually, as you learn a concept, you then earn the right to post to have a marketing prompt. And but with the exercise of the week, we actually give you a marketing prompt for every lesson. And then we have historically taught you how to use these marketing prompts. Well, let me just give you today's marketing prompt. Lindsay will put it in the chat too, but then I'll pull it up on the screen here so you can see. Boom, boom, boom. Share my screen. And go to, which tab is it? I don't even know where I am. Let's see, what tab is it, guys? Not that tab. Not that tab, not that tab. Not that tab. Where is it, guys? Oh, here it is. Okay. So today's marketing prompt, again, Lindsay will put it in the chat, but it says, so you learned about reconciling a bank account. That's what we talked about. Here's a sample post, QBO quick tip. Reconciling isn't optional. It's the only way to know your numbers are right. Missed it for a few months? That could mean missed income, duplicate expenses, or worse. Don't wait until year-end panic mode. Let's get it cleaned up now. Okay? So you can use that marketing prompt in your social media as a prompt to help you, say something, help talk about it. We have we have a course called the Getting Clients Cohort, which Lindsay manages that, which is teaching you how to position yourself in the market as an expert and post these QBO tips, and we recommend that you do it twice a month. If you are interested in the May Getting Clients cohort, Lindsay will put that, or has already, she's put that in the chat so you can find out more about the cohort. But here's the thing. This is Spicy Margie is coming back. Spicy Margie is coming back because I realized that, again, this all goes back to the type of person that we want to represent Acadian. That if you say that you are an Acadian graduate, we want you to represent certain things. And in order to do that, you can't just be, we've been having you post twice a week at a minimum. And a lot of you have been just posting these things. But posting them does not really demonstrate that you are an expert. It just means that you can post a thing. One of the things that Dan Martell says that we should be doing, those of us who are signed up for his coaching program, is that we should be teaching every day. Teaching every day. You guys need to be teaching. You need to be teaching the things that you're learning. It's one thing to just post a QBO tip, and what we talk about in the Getting Clients cohort is, you just want to raise your flag. You want to just keep reminding people that you're a bookkeeper, and that's true. You do want to be reminding people that you're a bookkeeper. You know who the real estate agents are. You know who the real estate agents are because they constantly tell you they are real estate agents. And how often do you buy a house, right? You don't buy a house that often. but maybe you know somebody who is looking to buy a house or sell a house, and so you can recommend, oh yeah, my friend Sally is a real estate agent. I know because she's constantly posting on social media about the fact that she's a real estate agent, right? So you know who the people are. So yes, it's important to post. Yes, it's important to post your QBO quick tips. But what I fear is that you are hiding behind them. That you are actually afraid to put yourself out there. I've talked about this in last week's newsletter. That you're actually afraid to put yourself out there for one reason or another. You have imposter syndrome. You're going to feel like you're going to be caught as a fraud or like whatever. And so you going out and actually marketing yourself is scary, right? It feels scary, but guess what? You have to push through the fear. You have to. There was a book one time, I never read it, but I heard the title. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Like, a lot of you feel inspired by my story, okay? So those of you who are new might not know my story, that I was hit with a sudden unexpected divorce when my husband had a midlife crisis after 20 years together. And I had been a stay-at-home mom. I couldn't get a job because it turns out that a middle-aged woman with a 20-year gap in her resume is not all that attractive. I couldn't get a job. Like so many of you, I turned to bookkeeping because it seemed like it would be a good transition. I was good with numbers. I knew that it seemed like that was a good path forward for me. And I could not let fear, I had no option, guys. Like I could not fail. There was just no option. Like I had to figure it out. I had to get up in the morning. I had to make the scary phone calls. I had to step up in my power because I had no choice. There was no plan B. There was no fallback. There was nothing. I had to make it work. Okay? And some of you guys are just sitting out there, posting a QBO tip, here and there, just kind of like hoping it works. If you want to build a business, and building a business is not for everybody, but if you want to build a business, you have to, like I talked about in the beginning of the call, you have to be the best version of you. You have to get over your crap. You have to make a decision. You have to walk toward your dreams, and you have to do it even if it's scary, even if you, the question is like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Okay. So anyway, you've had enough of spicy Margie. I'm going to give it a wrap. In case you missed the newsletter, I'm going to be in San Diego next week. A week from tomorrow, I'm going to be in San Diego. So if you guys are in San Diego and want to come hear me speak, it's a nominal fee. It's like $50 to come to this event. I couldn't even tell you where it was, but I posted it in the newsletter. There will be, even though I'm traveling, I will be doing the live stream from San Diego next week. So join me there. Let's see. What else is happening? Oh, some technical issues going on. Yeah, this is a good one. Laura says, I'm scared I will encounter a business owner that understands his financials more than I do and show gaps in my knowledge, proving I don't know my stuff. Well, that may happen. What if it happens? What if it happens? Will your life be over? No. You will move on. Maybe it will. The chances of that happening are extraordinarily slim. Andrew Averett, who works with us and is on the Tax Advisory Council and works closely with us here at Acadian. He's actually our fractional CFO. He is a CPA, and his big thing is to ask business owners, how many of you have had somebody walk through, how many of you have had somebody walk you through your financials? And the answer is like never. Nobody ever does. Nobody ever does. The business owners, like, they don't understand. They're busy doing their thing. They're busy running their business. They don't know. Rarely do business owners know their financials. So yeah, so it probably won't happen, but what if it does? What if it does? Then you'll move on. Then you'll move on and you'll like, okay, well, we weren't a good fit. I'll go find somebody else. You can't let it stop you. You can't let it stop you. And Deb was saying, understandable, but you're not presenting as a financial advisor to start. You are a bookkeeper right now. And by the way, if you are not in Bookkeeping Fast Track teaches you everything from start to finish, soup to nuts, from what is a bookkeeper is the very first lesson, to all the way being an elite bookkeeper and being able to walk a business owner through their financials. Okay? So using Andrew's material and guidelines and all of that stuff. So if you are not in Bookkeeping Fast Track, get in Fast Track, because that is going to be, well, I'll be talking more about that over the next couple of weeks, but yeah. Yeah, okay. Lindsay says, this is a big fear that many have. That's what our courses help with, learning by doing. Exactly. The more you are actually doing it. That's the difference. That's such a great point, Lindsay, is that we don't just give you theoretical knowledge. By the time you're actually dealing with a business owner, you have actually done it. Okay? So in our cleanup course, for example, you have a final project, you actually clean up a messy set of books. It's not just theoretical knowledge. It's not like, oh yeah, I read in a book how to ride a bicycle, and then you fall on your face. No, you actually have done these things once you've gone through our course. Good. Deb says, I struggle to do it for me, but for my kids, I will put on my big girl panties. Exactly. That's what you have to do. Laura says, I'm amazed at what I will do for my kids that I won't do for myself. Yep. Jane says, a realization I had during the cohort was I worked so many hours and did so many things for previous employers, but I was holding back for my own business. You deserve the effort. Yep. Opportunity to learn from it. I just need to remember that. Exactly. Exactly. So Dan Martell, one of his things is you just have to put in the reps. You will always suck at first. On Monday, I attended the first event that I had with him was something called Social Selling Summit, and he talked about how as you are growing in your business, you are always going to suck at first. You're going to suck at first, and then you're going to get better and better and better. Okay. And then you're going to reach a point where you have to move up to the next level. And guess what? When you move up to the next level, you're going to suck. And it starts over. You're going to suck, and then you're going to get better, 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 better. And then you're going to move up to the next level, and you're going to suck again. That's just the way it works. So you just have to, as they say in the military, embrace the suck. All right, and put in the reps. All right, let's see. Okay. Soup to nuts. I've never heard that. Really? You've never heard the phrase soup to nuts? Let's see. Lindsay put in the chat the fast track. We need to get you that link should work. Lindsay, but we should get you the one that is the actually says fast track. We had to rename it. Anyway, Deb says it's an amazing course talking about fast track. Christina says, I did not know debits and credits before fast track, and I do now. Yay! Awesome. Brenda says, if you want to learn bookkeeping, please join Bookkeeping Fast Track. Yes. Rashida, Margie is right. I just purchased the Bookkeeping Fast Track and I'm only 12% and I'm learning so much. Thank you. Brenda says, it is amazing how much I've learned in such a short period of time. The program is awesome. Thank you, Brenda. And Stephanie says, my new motto, embrace the suck. That's what it is. That's what it is. And yeah, you know, Dan's like, you have to put in the reps. You have to put in the reps. On Saturday, I was with Dan and his crew at another person's event. And there was a woman who spoke. Her name was, I think it was Jen Gottlieb, which I feel like I've seen that name before, but I didn't recognize her face and I don't know who she was, but she had like a similar kind of message, and she showed this video compilation of her first posts on doing a Facebook Live. And she's like, okay guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I'm gonna try this Facebook Live thing, which, by the way, if you're following me on Instagram, which you all should be, that's pretty much what I do. Like, I don't understand Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing, but here I am just giving a message. And anyway, so she showed like her evolution of like her very first couple of like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, until she like knew what she was doing, and then she was like on stages and like all of this, and she played Sia's Unstoppable. If you've heard that song, that's like a good, like, raring to go song. So anyway, all right guys, that's it for me. Spicy Margie today. Spicy Margie's gonna be here for a while, I think, because the world needs us. The world needs you. The world needs clarity, and you are the ones that are going to bring it to them. All right? I love that for us, is what Lindsay says, and I love that for you too. And I cannot wait to hear your success story. All right, you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next